Hey friends, I suffer from a condition called toxic productivity. I grew up pretty poor. We had the basics, but I wore hand-me-downs. My parents split up when I was 10 and we lived in a trailer until I was out of the house. And then I lived in a trailer as an adult until I was 30. I've made a lot of mistakes in my young adult life because I just didn't know what I was supposed to do. I got married at 19 and had my first baby at 20. And then I was divorced by the time I was 23. I did manage to make a good decision and go into nursing school because I wanted to be able to support myself and my son. And I managed to make it through nursing school and I graduated when I was 25. I remember the imposter syndrome was strong right off the bat because I grew up with parents who were both of the silent generation, and they both grew up children of the Great Depression in very poor households. And the work ethic that I got from them was very strong, but there was the mindset that if you're not working hard, then you're worthless, basically. So I just had an inferiority complex, I guess. And I remember when had my first nursing job right out of school, I still remember signing my name with that RN at the end of it, thinking, wow, I can't believe this is me. And all through my 20s and 30s, I felt like every time I achieved something, wow, this is really me. How am I able to do this? So anyway, after nursing school, I went to work in the ER, and then I got married again and had another baby and got divorced again, and I crashed and burned at age 30. My father died that year. I really kind of lost everything. I made some really bad decisions. Um, I started to rebuild after that in my early 30s, and as a single woman with two small children, I bought my first house. A few years later, I made a bad business decision and I bought a coffee shop. And then in 2009, when the economy kind of went down the drain, that went out of business. So I lost a bunch of money. I moved to the beach. I thought I'd be happy out there. After a year, I moved back home. It was too expensive to live out there. I did some travel nursing for a couple of years as a labor and delivery nurse. And I took my kids with me, and that was a lot of fun. And I'm glad I did that because I never got out of my home state when I was a child. So I'm glad that I was able to show them that that was possible. I finally got my bachelor's in nursing when I was probably in my early 40s. And I left the bedside when I was 45. And I got this corporate job. And I've talked about that in a previous video. And I've worked my way up to management. And then about that time, I started feeling like, oh wow, I'm in my mid 40s. I need to catch up. I need to. I haven't started preparing for retirement. And I bought another house, rental house, and I bought another house for me to live in. I bought a historic house a few years ago and did a complete renovation, which is why I bought this one, because this was going to be the second renovation. But it was a big project, and it could have really gone sideways and I could have lost everything, but it worked out, and I'm making a good income on that house now. I got 2 master's degrees in the last 5 years, 6 years, and I've got my real estate license a couple years ago. So as you can see, I'm kind of an overachiever. I've been really hustling. I've been working really hard. I've just always had this drive to be productive. My friends and family have told me for years that I need to slow down, but I have just not been able to do it because deep down, I don't think I'm worthy of respect unless I'm being productive. I've noticed over the last 3 or so years since COVID happened that my drive to be productive and hustle has gotten even worse. And over the past year and a half, my friends have stopped inviting me to things. I've started to not hear from people because I've been so busy working on my various projects and jobs that I've said no so many times that people just, I haven't been present with my friends and family. So they've really stopped reaching out. My health has started to slip. I've gained a lot of weight and I've got some health problems now in middle age that I didn't have before. I've had anxiety that I've never had before the last few years. The burnout has really taken a toll. So I'm making some changes, and that is where this channel comes in. I think a lot of people out there feel the same way I do. And I've gotten a lot of comments from people who are resonating with the things that I've said so far. We only have one life, and I've spent mine trying to make up for all the mistakes I made early on and for trying to break what I thought was, a cycle of poverty and being low on the social ladder. And I've really tried to give my children things that I didn't have so that they could grow up to have lives that were better than mine, and so that they didn't have to struggle or feel bad about themselves like I did. But I've worked myself into complete and utter burnout. So that's what this is all about. I'm going to be making some big changes. I'm reinventing myself yet again, but this time in a way that is really going to give me some freedom. So I'm glad that you're here.